Hi there, just read this disclaimer please.
Alright guys, I just wanted to give my first impressions on Trading 212. So basically I opened this account probably about a week ago. It's quite easy to open, which is good. Today they suddenly asked me for proof of my address. I think it's because I put in a substantial amount of money today. I put about £8,000 into the ISA, and I think that triggered them asking me to prove my address for some reason. I don't know why. I would have much preferred they did it when I put 20 quid in a few days ago, so that everything was sorted straight away. But they suddenly asked. But that worked quite well, because sometimes with these bank things, you send a picture of your driving licence or whatever, and they're for some reason their systems can't read it properly, and then it was a whole rigmarole. I had that rigmarole with who was it? Chase? It might have been Chase. I think it was Chase about a year ago. But anyway, so that worked quite well. It's a bit annoying because you can very much tell when you're on the website here that this is designed for a mobile app. And when you go to some of the screens, like when you try and go to your history, look at that, look how thin it is. It's clearly designed for an app, not a website. And there's lots of people online complaining. Apparently this is a very new change, a new update. They call these things updates. To me, they're always like destroying themselves. But anyway, so I opened the invest account. So that's like the general investment account, GIA would call it. So it's not sheltered from tax. I opened that a while ago. And then a few days ago, I opened the ISA. If you click here, it shows you there's an invest account. The CFD account, that's the one to avoid. That's the dangerous one where you can lose lots of money. And then you have to scroll across to get to the ISA, which I opened a couple of days ago. And as you can see, I added £8,000. Well, I added two. I'll show you. So the process for adding the money, I did the bulk of it this morning, but a while ago I added 20 quid just to make sure I knew how to do it. So to add money into it, you click on deposit funds and it comes up with this screen, instant bank transfer. I tried it and I think it's not what I thought it was. It's not just like if I send my money from my current account into my savings account, instantly it happens nowadays. It used to take a few days, now it's just instant. It's more than that. This is some sort of bank integration, which felt a bit close to me. It felt a bit... And I think actually this, even though it doesn't use the word instant, this is pretty much instant for me. I imagine it depends, maybe it depends bank to bank, I'm not sure. But nowadays this is pretty much instant, and this is the one where you control it. This here, it's like Trading 212 can see into your account, I think. I'm just speculating, to be honest. It sounded a bit too close. And actually I couldn't use it anyway because Chase wasn't one of the banks that offered it. Now there is another option where you can use your credit card or your debit card to do it, but as you can see, after £2,000 it starts costing you 0.7%, so that's no good. So I went to bank transfer. This is where you deposit funds. Now this might be a bit confusing to people because there's no instructions here, but basically, I don't know why they can't just say this just in case. I mean, I worked it out pretty quickly because I've kind of done this thing before, but if you were new to all this might not be obvious. What all this is doing is giving you the information that you type in to your bank's app, your current account app. So you're supposed to go to your current account app or website and type in the information they're giving you here. Doesn't tell you that for some reason. Okay, so I've scrolled down. So here's the information it's giving you. Basically, this is their sort code, this is their account number, and that's just generic for Trading 212 in general. None of this information identifies you as the particular customer you're paying money into. And if we scroll up, the information I'm covering there with the notepad is the payment reference, and that's what identifies you, your actual account. And it's actually different for your ISA than it is for your invest, obviously, because sometimes you want to put money into your invest account, not your ISA. So that's the payment reference when you're sending the money from your bank to here. I think all the banks use the same terminology, so the payment reference when you make the transfer is important, very important. That's why I did 20 quid a few days ago first, just a smaller amount, so there's no danger of me losing a massive amount of money. And it took maybe 5-10 minutes before I got a notification on my phone, and that notification is shown here if you click on the little bell there. So as you can see, a few days ago I did 20 quid, and as you can see at the moment Trading 212 are offering a 1% cashback. So as you can see, after I did it, 20 quid, it told me 20 pence has gone into my invest account, so it goes into the other account. Obviously that's something to do with not exceeding your ISA limit, so that's why it goes into the non-tax sheltered account. And then as you can see this morning, about an hour ago, I got £79.80 put into my invest account, and I've now got 8 grand in there, which I'll talk about in another video, what I'm doing with that 8 grand. This is where you go for your portfolio information. For some reason, Home is more about giving you news and charts and stuff. Not interested in that. I get me charts and news from other sources, and this is where you can see your portfolio, which is empty. And here's where you go to find the different companies and ETFs you might want to invest in. So I've been looking at Novo Nordisk because I've been a bit confused about it. Which one do I go for? Because there's no Denmark Copenhagen Exchange stuff here. I've got to work out which one of these is best for me. I think what I'm going to end up doing is going half and half. I'll see how the dividend is treated, how much withholding tax is taken from each one, and then make a decision to go into just one of these. Anyway, that's irrelevant. So if I go to the invest account, you can create a pie, which I've done, which is my Fundsmith approximation-ish, plus and minus a few companies. Now, I think I've been put off this, to be honest. It's a quick way of investing in a whole portfolio. So I could then say to it, right, put 10 grand into this pie, and it would put the proportion into each one, which is good. I kind of like that, but I'm also a bit of a control freak. I don't like the idea that it might end up doing things, because once I do this Fundsmith thing, I won't be then resetting to 2.6% for Fortinet, if you see what I mean. So it's got limited use for me personally, I think. Because the other thing is, when I tried to copy this Fundsmith from Invest to ISA, which is where I'll be doing the investment, I couldn't find a way of doing it. I searched on Reddit, I've searched... I think the old way of doing it doesn't exist anymore. I think they've broken how it works. Because if you try and create a pie, you can create your own, which is what I did a few days ago, or you can use a custom-made pie, which is either their own ones, or you can go to community pies, and then if you go to top, it does the most popular ones. You click on new, and the quote unquote newest one already has 10,000 people. Does that mean watching it? I don't know. Does this mean 3,500 people are using it? I'm not sure. But as you can see, the newest pie is not going to have this many users, is it? So obviously, because one of the methods I tried to do to copy my Fundsmith one to the ISA was I made it public. So I clicked on the option that says share it with the community. And then I thought, right, well, I've just shared it like 2 seconds ago. So if I click on new, surely mine is going to be one of the ones that shows up first, because I've literally just this second shared it. And no, it doesn't look. So I don't trust the pie section, basically, is what I'm saying. So I'm not going to use it. I think all of this probably did work, however long ago it was they made the change to their website. So yeah, I'm not impressed with the website. I'm going to use it as in the most simple way possible. I'm going to use this website. The other reason I wanted to open a Trading 212 account is also for the cash. I can just leave. This is the invest account, so this could just be money going back to my current account, because there's no ISA limit here. It's just the invest account. So if you click into the GB and go to interest, you can see that it's getting 5.2% interest. Now, even if at some point the 5.2% interest stops being the best deal, I can also just buy a money market fund in here. I'll go for, because it's the invest account, I'd go for one that pays out the interest, just to make the tax easier. I think this is the fund that you can buy on Trading 212, because I've got that London, I can't remember the name of it, I've got this one in my iWeb account, getting myself some interest. There is some risk with these things, but I think it's just a liquidity issue. The worst case scenario, you'd wait a couple of months to get your money back, I think. So as you can see, it just pays out the interest a couple of times a year. So I think, even if at some point the cash doesn't get the best, the cash doesn't get the best interest, which by the way has the same risk as a money market fund. It's just easier not to bother buying the actual money market fund. I could just put the money into ERNS, ultra short bond. See, that is the one I could just buy instead. So it's a way of having my cash work for me without having to constantly check on the Money Saving Expert website for the best bank account and opening a new bank account. I can have the bulk of my money, probably not like the float, so I'll always have a couple of grand, which is properly easy access accounts. But the excess to that, I can have constantly getting a good interest rate without having to constantly monitor these easy access accounts. So that's what I could do. But at the moment, 5.2% is enough, is what I'm getting on Santander anyway. But in May, that Santander bank account gets a significantly lower interest rate. So in May, I'll probably put the bulk of that cash into the invest account, just as cash. So that's another reason why I've opened the Trading 212 account. Yeah, that's it really. I don't know what else to say. There's my little first impression video about Trading 212 and why I've opened an account. And I'll see you next time when I actually start investing in the ISA. See you next time. Bye bye.